for them to get by. This land has been in my family for generations.
I'll get you more land out to Oregon, Bert boasted. 160 acres for every settler, 4 times as much as we have now. He'd taken his pipe from his mouth. I've already got a buyer and sealed the deal. A twinge of apprehension gripped Rosemary.
Who, might I ask?
Pringle.
Harvey Pringle's huge farm abutted theirs, and he had been after Bert for years to sell. But of all the people in the world, Rosemary would rather it were someone else. She had never liked Pringle, never liked how he looked at her with those hungry eyes of his, and how he contrived to brush his grossly overweight body against hers whenever they met in town, or when he came to visit.
He's offering us top dollar,
Bert had gone on. Then he told her the price.
Twice what the land is worth. Of course, I have to throw in the cows and the chickens, and he gets to harvest the corn. That's fair, don't you think?
Rosemary's hands had tightened on the arms of her chair. Her husband, bless his soul, had the business sense of a tree stump. A fairer price would be 3 times as much. But she had smiled and said softly, "Yes, dear." Now Rosemary was glad she did. Things had gone without a hitch. The sale had gone through on time. Bert had bought a brand-new wagon in town, and Pringle let him have a team of oxen for half price, out of the goodness of my heart, as Pringle put it. The jumping-off point to the uncharted frontier was bustling Independence, Missouri, at the other end of the state from Holstein, where she'd been born and spent her entire life. But it might as well have been a whole new world. Rosemary had marveled at the colorful ebb and flow of humanity. Energetic townspeople in dapper suits and elegant dresses, steely-eyed gamblers in black frock coats and wide-brimmed hats, bronzed frontiersmen in fringed buckskins. Most remarkable of all were the Indians, members of peaceful tribes who came to trade. Civilized Indians, some called them. Tame Indians, others said. But to Rosemary they didn't seem particularly civilized or tame, and she couldn't stop thinking of the brutal atrocities Missourians had suffered at red hands before the last of the uprisings were put down. She saw tall, stately Mandans with finely chiseled features. She saw painted Pawnees, their hair cropped into crests down the center of their heads. And there were Osages, too, miserable wretches whose tribe was pitiably poor, and who were the laughing-stock of the other tribes and whites alike. They all made Rosemary's skin crawl. She couldn't help it. She tried not to let their presence bother her, but she kept remembering her grandfather. Bert had asked around and learned a wagon train was leaving for Oregon within the week. It was late in the season, and he'd been worried there might not be another until next spring. But the old man at the stable had introduced them to Harry Trapp, and now here they were, the last of 9 wagons rolling in single file across the prairie. The sun was warm on Rosemary's face, the scent of grass reminiscent of alfalfa. She hummed louder and tried not to think of the warning the owner of the general store had given them. Bert had gone there to stock up on provisions, and when the proprietor learned where they were bound, he had motioned them aside.
"Listen, it's none of my business, but you seem like nice folks, and I'd hate for anything to happen to you." "How do you mean, Mr. Carpenter?" Bert had asked.
"You're better off waiting until next year. It's September already. Snow comes mighty early to the high country. And once you're past South Pass, you're taking your life into your hands."
Carpenter had turned his back to the other customers and lowered his voice.
"For another thing, your train is too small."